This is Making Stitches, and this time crochet designer, blogger and YouTuber Rosina from Zeens and Roger shares her creative story with us.
Inspiration is everywhere, whether or not it's a TV show and you're watching, I don't know, a popular TV programme and you see on the back of the sofa there's a blanket on there and you go, I want to make that, that's amazing, I want one of those in my house. Or I remember using the example of wallpaper in a magazine. There's an interiors magazine and you see a picture of this room and it's got beautiful wallpaper with massive blooms on it or something like that, and the colours just speak to you and you just go, right, that needs to be, I don't know, it needs to be turned into a jumper.
Hello and welcome to Making Stitches. I'm Lindsay, and this time I'm thrilled to be able to share a conversation I had a few weeks back with Rosina from Zeens and Roger. Rosina, who's based in Devon, is a prolific crochet designer specialising in bold colours and more recently in items of clothing such as cardigans, mittens and cowls. I've been following Rosina's blog for a number of years now, and during that time her popularity has grown significantly and seen her add a YouTube channel to her output. In her vlog, she invites viewers to join her for a chat while they make their own crochet creations, and in it she shares her latest makes and plans for the future. First of all, Rosina, thank you so much for agreeing to come on Making Stitches. It's a real treat to be able to speak to you after following your blog and watching your YouTube videos for so many years now. It's a real treat.
Well, you're very welcome. I too have been following you. I think we probably started blogging around the same time, so... Yeah,
about 2015.
You've always been on my radar.
Oh, well, thank you very much for saying yes. I appreciate it. Now, I've got to ask you, obviously you're known for your crochet and your design, but how did it all start? Have you always been a creative person?
Always been creative and crafty. Never felt like I was particularly outstanding or good at anything, but I didn't care. I just enjoyed making stuff, whether or not it was getting all the paints out as a kid, you know, and drawing pictures and painting things. Even I remember the very first thing that probably went in a frame of mine with my mum. I painted her a picture of a ballerina. I thought it was rubbish and was going to chuck it in the bin, but she was like, no, this is good, let's frame it and put it on the wall. So it's always been there. My nana was very crafty. She wouldn't say that she was a creative person, but she was a maker, so a knitter, a crocheter, an embroiderer, you know, all those things, but they were probably more about make, do and mend rather than, you know, being artistic. So it's always been there in my background, and then, yeah, it kind of got a bit more obsessive.
What was the catalyst then that brought it out from just being like a pastime to being much more of a focus?
I think probably, and it's the same for many, you do these things as a child, and then as you grow up a little bit, you start getting different interests, whether or not it's going out with your mates or boys or what have you, and then you just you forget about it. I mean, occasionally I did things as a teenager, like I tried to knit a jumper and things like that, but I wouldn't have ever told anybody I was doing it. It was just when I was at my nana's house. Then you grow up, work happens, you forget it all, and then maternity leave hit, and waiting for a baby to come along. Oh my God, I'm just going to take up these curtains. Oh, that chair needs recovering. And then all of a sudden you start remembering that you have had this creativity in you, and it kind of sparked from that. And then my baby was born. He got loads of gifts that were handmade from friends and family. I felt kind of, not guilty, but I wanted to make him something from me. And so I remembered, you know, my nana tried to teach me how to crochet when I was little. I wonder if I could do it now. And so, yeah, I learned how to crochet.
And what was that like as a grown-up, learning how to crochet, compared to when you were a child? Did you find it harder?
No, easier, because as a child, my nana had rules about when she was teaching me. There were rules you had to follow, and I didn't like those rules. So as an adult, I could throw those rules out of the window, and I didn't care about rules. I like breaking them. I don't want to follow them. And so actually it's so much easier as an adult learning a new craft. You've not got anybody breathing over your shoulder trying to teach you the way they would do it. So actually I did it at my own pace, took my sweet time, with the help of YouTube, with the help of some very, very beginner books, learn how to do it.
I have to agree with you, actually, because my gran taught me how to crochet as a child, and then I kind of forgot it. And when I came back to it later on in life, and with the joy of being able to watch YouTube videos and have things broken down each step as you do it, it was only when I crocheted in front of a friend of mine who is a crochet teacher, and she sat there and she looked at me and she said, "What are you doing?" And now the finished article looked the same as what she was producing, but how I did it and how I hold my hook are completely wrong, apparently. But there we are.
It kind of makes me cross, actually, because how many people have been deterred from a strict teacher because they weren't holding it, you were holding it knife hold instead of pen hold, or vice versa. Like it's going to make a difference.
You can't tell. The blanket at the end of the day, it looks the same as everybody else's. It's just how you get there that's different, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So you are a prolific designer. Almost every time I look on Instagram, there is a new design, a new cowl or a blanket or a bag.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know how you do it. Where do you get your inspiration from?
Oh, I don't know, because I don't think that's something that you can put a label on, almost. I get asked that question the most, and then I never know how to answer it, because it's everywhere. Inspiration is everywhere. Whether or not it's a TV show and you're watching, I don't know, a popular TV programme, and you see on the back of the sofa there's a blanket on there, and you go, "I want to make that. That's amazing. I want one of those in my house." Or you see, I remember using the example of wallpaper in a magazine. There's an interiors magazine, and you see a picture of this room, and it's got beautiful wallpaper with massive blooms on it or something like that, and the colours just speak to you, and you just go, right, that needs to be, I don't know, it needs to be turned into a jumper. Or I don't know, we're all influenced by the same trends, the way I see it, so we're steeped in it.
Definitely. We're just absorbing stuff all the time, I guess, aren't we?
Yes, so whether or not it's somebody wearing something on TV, like the Sarah Lund jumper, for goodness sake, I still the Icelandic Fair Isle jumper, that was popular about 10 years ago. It's still there in my mind, and I still have that as my inspiration for maybe one day a crochet design. Or even, I don't know, what else? Architectural shapes. They become a geometric blanket, for example. Just like seeing some sort of building, I don't know, it could be like a 1920s style building, and all of a sudden the shapes come together, and I'm going to chuck them onto a graph and make them into a crochet blanket.
Yeah, I guess you just got to keep your eyes open all the time and just be on the lookout for just something amazing that's going to spark you off on a different direction.
Absolutely, and you won't even notice when it's happened. You know, you're not necessarily deliberately looking for it, but you'll see it and you'll go, right, that's it. That's the thing.
Now, we fast forwarded straight onto design. I've got to ask you, you said that when you went on maternity, that's when you really got into your crochet. But at what point did you stop just wanting to make things for your nearest and dearest and to have in the house, and then to share your designs with the wider world, really?
I think it was probably quite a gradual process, so I don't know if there was any one point. Just that it was pretty early on that I knew I just wanted to not do it like the way I was told to do it. I want to do it, why not try this way instead? I'm just trying to think now, because my son, who I made the baby blanket for, he's going to be 12 in a couple of months. So it's a long time, and I wonder at what point, for the very first time, I went, no, I'm going to write down my own. Honestly, it's just such a blur. I can't really remember. As I said, it's a gradual process, so you just it's never an actual decision, is it? It is evolution.
Yeah,
the evolution of a crocheter.
Like a butterfly.
Yeah, why not?
What do you think it is about crochet that made you fall in love with it so much? Because clearly it's a passion of yours.
I honestly do not have the foggiest, other than that I just took to it. At first you have that kind of frustrations where I can't do it, my stitches are too tight, they're too loose, they're not working. What is that, the end of the row? No, it's not. And then all of a sudden it twigs and you go, oh, I've got it. And as soon as I got it, I knew I loved it. I must have known I loved it before then as well, to persevere. I think probably things like, I don't know, it's just easy. I find it easy. Not necessarily everybody does. I find it easier than knitting, for example, which I can do, but it just doesn't speak to me in the same way. It's just such a diversity to it. You can do so many different things, and I don't think people give it enough credit for that at all.
No,
but I find that what could I do differently? How can I make these changes? I find that addictive as well. So it's not just crochet, it's the things you can do with it and its possibilities that kind of make you try that one step further.
Yeah, I mean, so many people on the outside who haven't been bewitched by crochet yet. I think they see it as a very kind of old fuddy-duddy kind of craft. It's granny square blankets, which I love, but that's just kind of all they see. Whereas it's so diverse, isn't it? The techniques and the effects you can get from lace right up to huge, chunky, great big pieces of furniture almost you can create with crochet. It's, the limit is your own imagination, really, isn't it?
Exactly. And like you said, I am not going to knock the granny square because, she is queen.
Absolutely.
But it's not just the granny square. You need to see beyond that. And I think sometimes people just don't bother looking further. And they've made their assumptions already. And that, I don't know, that's it. Or actually, if anything's a bit fancier, they just probably go, oh, that's knitting. Yeah. They don't actually realise it's crochet. So they don't give crochet the credit that it's due. So
yeah. Oh, we've got to champion the hook, haven't we?
Yes, we need to champion hook. And I'm very much up for that fight. And that challenge, absolutely.
I had a quick look on your blog and you offered a few years ago now, actually, a really useful blog post about how you became a crochet designer yourself and any advice for anybody who was thinking of following the same route. In it, you mentioned that you'd approached several crochet magazines, sent them some ideas, and obviously that worked for you because your work's been featured in quite a few crochet magazines now, and it's obviously moved on a level. What would that advice still stand for anybody who might be listening who's thinking of following your route?
Yes, I think so for the most part. But I did do an interview with somebody else recently. I don't know if you wanted to share it or not. It's with a designer called Heather from HG Designs, and she asked me about the process, and so we did a whole YouTube video on it. And for that, I reread that old blog post, and for the most part, it stands up. That's how I started, so that hasn't changed. But basically, if somebody wanted to become a crochet designer, then just do it. I know maybe that sounds really but I think one day I just thought, I'm tired of thinking, what if? And just do it. And I just went, right, okay, who are these people? Who do I contact? Who do I get in touch with to make myself known? Because at that time, I didn't have a massive following or anything like that. I just knew that this is what I wanted to do. I loved it that much. I was just like, for once in my life, I'm just going to be brave, and I'm going to email these people, and I'm going to tell them that I am here and I want to do this. But the one thing I did do was make sure that I had some ideas to broach them with. I wasn't just going to say, I'm a designer, can I design for you? I was going to say, I have designed these items. Do you like them? Would you like to feature them in your magazine? I had, therefore, something to show them. And I wanted as well for it to be snazzy and decent and something I was proud of, because there's no point submitting anything that you're just like, oh, that'll do. That's not the point at all. You have to love it and be proud of it. It's going to be in a magazine potentially, for goodness sake, so it's got to be good. And so I emailed them photographs, and I think I emailed 3 or 4 different publishers. Just by literally, you open up the front of a magazine and it's got all the details of everybody in it. It's a bit different now because social media, I mean, this is 2016, and I wasn't Instagram savvy then at all. And so I did go to the actual hard copies of the magazines and just get the contact details from people. And I emailed them, and then one of them got back to me and said, yes, we'll feature those. Yeah, no problem. So I was like, brilliant. Oh my God, that's amazing. And I was on cloud 9.
Oh, so it's just be brave. I mean, I can completely identify with that. I spent ages thinking about doing a blog and then doing the podcast as well. And then sometimes you just have to think, oh, nobody else is going to do it for you. You've just got to have a go, haven't you?
Exactly. And that's the thing with everybody that's doing something. At one stage or another, they had to go, oh, man, I've just got to do this.
What's the worst that could happen?
Right, exactly.
Now, speaking of magazines, I noticed you're involved in a new magazine that's going to be coming out later on this year, More It. I wonder if you could tell me a bit about that. It sounds very exciting.
I'll try, but I don't want to take anything away from Alison, who is the creator of this absolutely amazing magazine. But she came to me at some point last year and said, I've got this idea. And it wasn't just me, there's a group of us that get together just to sort of chat to each other and support each other and stuff like that. And she came to the group to say, I've got this idea, what do you reckon? And we were just like, oh my God, yes, you've got to do this thing. Alison has a master's degree in publishing, so she's the perfect person to start this magazine. And also she is a crochet enthusiast and fed up of seeing all the fancy sort of high-end knitting magazines. She said, where are the crochet magazines? And it was the case of exactly the same thing that you've just said of if not me, I may as well do it because nobody else is going to. Well, that's how it seems. And I think that was her kind of her way of looking at it as well. So in September there will be issue 1 of More It magazine hitting the shelves. It'll also be digital too, so if anybody wants a hard copy, anybody wants a digital copy, it's there. But it will be, I guess, sort of 10 to 12 crochet designs on a twice a year. It'll be initially, I think, but I don't know what the plans are. You'll have to ask Alison, I guess. Find out what her plans are for the future. But it's going to be really exciting. I have already got my design down. I know what it's going to look like. I know what yarn it's going to be. I know what colour it is. I know everything about it. I just haven't made it yet.
Oh, how exciting. Oh, it's wonderful as as a crocheter to know that there's, I mean, we are blessed with lovely magazines, with so much on the internet that we can access, but to have a really nice top quality high end magazine would be a real
room for
nice
it.
Thing. Definitely.
There's room for it. It's not to disparage any of the other magazines that are out there, because they all have a place. I love working with Inside Crochet, for example. I think it's a fabulous magazine. I've worked with the other magazines too, and always, had a great experience. But there is room for this, and I am so excited.
How wonderful. Now, aside from that, what does the future hold for you as a crochet designer? Have you got anything that you can maybe, I know everything's got to be hush hush and top secret when you've got things in the pipeline, but what can we look forward to?
I mean, I have ideas and I have things sort of that are in the pipeline, I guess. But I don't want to say anything. But for the most part, more of the same, because I love what I do. I mean, there was a point where I just thought, oh my gosh, what am I going to do next? Because I felt like I'd sort of been there, done that, achieved it. And then also, it's not just me that moves on, other people move on as well. So at some stage, the magazines will go, oh, hang on a minute, I think you've had your turn. Can you let somebody else have a go now, please? So, their tastes will change and they'll go, right, no, your old hat now, off you trot. So, yeah, I will have to come up with some new ideas. But I'm not going to say anything.
No, I didn't think you would, but it was worth a try. Now, and I can't let you go without asking you about your name of your blog and your vlog and everything, Zeens and Roger. And
I know.
What's the story behind it?
Oh, it's not that interesting, really. It's just I know sometimes people just think it's actually all one word, like they don't know its meaning at all. But it's just like, it's Zeens and Roger. And they are two names, and they are both my nicknames, essentially. So we have Zeens, which is just basically a shortening of Rosina, so the middle bit is Zeen, so I get called Zeens. That's probably the one I get called the most. And then by a select few, I am called Roger. And it's because I used to work in a cinema a long time ago, and a lot of the people I worked with were guys, and I had to be given an honorary boy's name, and Roger was the name they chose. I know, it's so stupid. It's ridiculous. But unfortunately, it stuck. But I quite like it, really. It's funny. So, yeah.
Well,
but I think and nobody can call me those names, though. This is where I didn't really think about it, because I'll get an email going, hi Zeens. I'm like, no, my name's Rosina, thank you very much. Don't forget that. So it's like, you have to sort of earn the privilege to call me those things. God, that sounds ridiculous.
I wonder if those blokes in the cinema back then had any idea that the name would stick quite so much.
I don't know. I mean, yeah, I've never forgotten them. Well, I'm married to one of them, so...
Oh, that's brilliant. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me. I really appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
It's been such fun.
Oh, good.
Thanks again, Rosina, for agreeing to speak to me for Making Stitches. I really enjoyed chatting to you after all these years following your blog. Now, if you would like to find out more about Rosina's work, you can find her on Instagram and YouTube as Zeens and Roger, and I'll include some links to her social media and blog in the show notes for this episode. That's just about all I have for you this time, but before I go, did you know that in the past few days, Making Stitches has celebrated its first birthday? It was a project I thought about creating for a few years, but it took a pandemic and a global lockdown to give me the impetus I needed to get it started. Since April 2020, it's been listened to more than 12,000 times and across 5 continents. Now that's a figure that just blows my mind. Thank you so much to everybody who's listened for the support and encouragement over the past 12 months. Now, if you've enjoyed listening to this episode, please do share the podcast with your friends. And if you wouldn't mind rating and reviewing Making Stitches on your favourite podcast app, I'd be really grateful, as it'll help more people find Making Stitches in future. And if you'd like to support Making Stitches in another way, perhaps you'd like to buy me a coffee through the Making Stitches Ko-fi page. Any funds raised this way will go towards the costs involved in creating and maintaining the podcast, so I can build on the last year's work and continue with Making Stitches well into the future. Thanks again very much for listening. I'll be back again in 2 weeks' time with another inspiring maker story for you. Until then, keep safe and enjoy your crafting.